To finish up our first chapter on NHAIR, we want to set the nucleus solver to the appropriate scale for our scene. To make sure that our performance is the best possible, we want to hide all of the curves. Where we left it with the last movie was we were seeing the start curves. If I press play, you will see these are the start curves here, and we know that because they don't move. We want to hide those, and we also want to hide the output curves. However, if you notice, if you go into the NHAIR menu and display, there actually is no option here to hide all of the curves. You can show all curves, but you actually can't hide all curves. The workaround for that is we want to show the current position, also known as the output curves, which we've previously placed onto a layer, and then we can hide that layer. So I'll choose display current position, and now we're seeing the output curves, or the current position curves as they're also known, and then I can turn the visibility of that layer off. And now I've hidden all of the curves. Okay, so when we play the simulation, you can see that it seems like the hair is moving in low gravity, and it doesn't feel natural. We are playing back at the correct frame rate here. We've previously set our timeline, right-click, playback speed, play every frame, max real time. So we know that we're getting approximately 24 frames a second. If we want to really double check on that, of course, we can always go into the display menu to heads-up display and turn on the frame rate. Rewind and play that back. So I'm getting in the realm of 20 to 24 frames per second, and the hair is not behaving in the way that it really should. And this is a result of the scale of the scene. I've built this character so that he's at a 1-to-1 scale. In other words, a Maya unit is currently set to a centimeter, which is the default, and the character is constructed in centimeters. So the character's head is in the realm of tens of centimeters in size. Well, it turns out that the Maya Dynamics engines all assume that a unit is a meter and not a centimeter, irrespective of what you set up in your preferences. In other words, you could set your preferences to view display units in anything you want, meters or centimeters or feet or inches, and that will not affect the behavior of the dynamics. The dynamics always assume that you've built a scene that's at 1/100th of real scale. But I've built my scene at a 1-to-1 unity scale. We could scale the world down, scale all the objects in the world down to 1/100th scale, but there's a much easier and quicker solution, and that's simply to change the space scale attribute for the nucleus solver. To get to that, we'll want to select any part of the hair system and go to the attribute editor, Control A, and go to the nucleus tab. And now we're seeing the nucleus attributes, and these are the global properties for the entire system, including hair and any cloth that you may have in the scene. And we want to scroll down, and we're looking for the scale attributes section. You want to open that up, and you'll see space scale. And currently, no modifier is being applied. What we need to do for a scene that's modeled at unity scale or 1-to-1 is to set the space scale value down to 0.01, essentially telling Maya that it needs to multiply all of the values by a value of 0.01. And now what will happen is the hair is going to be assumed to be approximately 2 centimeters in size, instead of it had previously been assumed to be approximately 2 meters in length. So we've made it so that the calculations are going to be physically accurate. Go ahead and play that back, and you can see that the hair is falling much faster. And that's a much more realistic result. We're getting some stretchiness and some bounciness in there, and we can of course improve that, and we don't currently have any collisions happening, but we will fix all of that up in the subsequent chapters.